If you don't know the difference between someone who's avoidant and someone who's emotionally unavailable, you could end up stuck in a relationship that never really starts. Let me paint a picture I know a lot of people can relate to. You're texting someone. The conversations are deep, not just small talk. They open up. Maybe even say something like, "I've never felt this understood before." And you're thinking, this could actually be something. The next day, radio silence. No reply, no breadcrumb, no nothing. And suddenly, your brain's doing backflips. Are they pulling away because they're scared of how close we got? Or were they never really that into me? That moment, that weird emotional limbo where you're stuck overthinking and second guessing yourself, that's what we're talking about today. Because knowing the difference between someone who's avoidant and someone who's emotionally unavailable can save you a whole lot of wasted energy, time, and heartache. From the outside, they look the same. Hot and cold behaviour, pulling away when things get deep, leaving you confused as fuck. But here's where they're different. Avoidants actually want love, but it freaks them out. They get close, and then suddenly their brain triggers a warning. This is dangerous. So they bail, emotionally. They're not doing it to hurt you, but their nervous system, it's been wired by old emotional wounds. Now it treats closeness like a threat. Even if their conscious mind wants love, their subconscious is on high alert. Now, emotionally unavailable people, they don't want the emotional part at all. Not scared, just uninterested. They'll show up physically, but stay checked out emotionally. You'll feel like you're dating someone who's always holding you at arm's length. And that's the key. Avoidants are scared of intimacy. Emotionally unavailable people don't value it. And that's a big difference. Because fear can be worked through. But disinterest, that's a closed door. Avoidants deactivate. Emotionally unavailable people disconnect. Avoidants show up for emotional connection, but only for a moment. They'll let you in, feel close, and then pull away before it gets too real. Here's what that looks like. They open up one night, you connect, and then radio silence. Suddenly they're really busy, super tired, or nitpicking every little thing. They're not being cold, they're panicking because intimacy just flipped a switch inside them. Emotionally unavailable people, though, there's no switch, no panic, because they never emotionally arrive in the first place. It's all surface level, no deep talks. They avoid serious topics. They're fine spending time with you, but they're never really with you. Think of it like this. Avoidants are doing the emotional cha-cha, close, retreat, repeat. Unavailable people, they're just sitting out the dance entirely. Either way, it's not your job to fix them. Look, I get it. We all want to believe our love can crack the code. That if we just love them the right way, they'll change. I know this one from personal experience, all too well. But you can't love someone into being available. You're not their therapist. You're not their savior. You're not a human self-help book. Avoidants need to work through their own intimacy issues. That's their homework, not yours. And emotionally unavailable people, they'd have to want connection in the first place. That's not something you can convince them of. And even if you could fix them, what are they actually learning? We all have our own lessons to face. And if you keep bailing someone out of theirs, you might be slowing down the very growth they need. You can be kind, you can be understanding, you should be empathetic, but don't confuse compassion with self-abandonment. If you carry the whole emotional weight of the relationship, it's not a relationship. It's time to ask if you're getting what you need to. It's not just them, it's also you. If you keep finding yourself drawn to emotionally unavailable or avoidant people, it's not just bad luck. It's probably an emotional pattern that started way earlier. Maybe, as a kid, you had to work for attention, or you learned on some level that love equals inconsistency. So now, inconsistency feels familiar, even though it sucks. And hey, before we all start a group chat called Avoidant Should Stay Home Until They're Healed, let's be real. Nobody's perfect. You might not have avoidant tendencies yourself, but we all have subconscious patterns that need unpacking. This isn't about blaming your past. It's about understanding your blueprint. Because once you spot the pattern, you can finally break it. Ask yourself, why am I drawn to people who keep me guessing? When have I felt safe, seen, and secure? And what was different? What do I think I have to do to be loved? That last one, big. You don't have to perform for love. You don't have to chase it. And you definitely don't have to earn someone's crumbs. If that part hit a nerve, you're starting to see how these patterns didn't begin with them, but with the beliefs you picked up way earlier. My No Bullshit Guide to a Growth Mindset walks you through how to shift that wiring. It's all about retraining the way your brain responds to love, fear, and failure. So you stop chasing what hurts and start building something that actually feels safe. You'll find the link to that in the description box below. Labels don't matter if you're empty. Forget the label. Whether they're avoidant, emotionally unavailable, or just plain inconsistent. Here's what actually matters. How do you feel? If you constantly feel confused, insecure, unworthy, exhausted, then it's not working, period. You don't need a PhD to walk away. You don't need a diagnosis to choose peace. You just need to listen to yourself. Because real love, it feels like presence, like warmth, like safety. Not a mind game, not a puzzle, not a test you have to pass. So if you've been waiting on someone to come around, this is your reminder. You don't need to wait for someone to realize your worth. You already know it. And when you stop trying to win love that's unavailable, you make space for the kind that actually shows up. If this stirred something in you, if you're starting to see the pattern and wondering how to shift it, go watch my last video, Healing Avoidant Attachment Style, 3 steps that actually work. It walks you through clear, practical steps to start rewiring your attachment style, especially if you're the one who shuts down when things get real. You deserve connection that feels like safety, not survival mode. Catch you in the next one.